Thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this video and the free product. Hi, I'm Rob Dahm, and this is the triple turbo 12 rotor. We are back on the 12 rotor, and in fact, I feel like a little bit of a liar because the whole thing I said a long time ago, we're dropping everything and we're working on a 12 rotor, and then the next day, Pikes made me a liar. And I think that paid off, but we're back on the 12 rotor, so get you up to speed. We've reassembled the engine. We have used AI, generative design really, to make the fuel delivery system. And so all these fuel injectors meet with the porting and hopefully make a lot of power that way. I bought raw fuel rail stock from Holly. Ethan is going to machine these rails. I went and bought this stock, which is actually similar wall thickness. That's going to sit on top of these, and we're going to have it loop back. So all the fuel fittings are all in one spot, and they're all condensed nice in there. No hoses, nothing to deteriorate. It's all here, 2AN fittings, and then we have short hoses in the back that connect it all so we can inspect it in one spot, and away we go. It also adds some structural rigidity, not that this is thin by any means. You guys saw me play with Legos here. Not me, Rob, but the other Rob. He's going to be making this section so that way we can figure out where the intake manifold can and cannot go. So what we've learned from Pikes is that in-canal shielding is our friend, but so is air passing through there. So we're going to have a specially designed air channel that is constantly being pumped through there, because aluminum, 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 aluminum is all going to absorb that heat. It's time to build the fuel system, it's time to build the intake manifold, and it's time to build the exhaust manifold so we can do Joel's favorite thing, wiring.
No.
Yes. There comes a time in every boy's life where he leaves and goes on that proverbial journey and becomes a man. And while you guys might be thinking that was me with Pikes Peak, it is me with the CNC machine. I picked some random shit off of MSC. You CNC guys, please let me know if I messed up, but to be honest, whatever any of them are is gonna be better than what I had in the machine. This is running off of like oil left off of parts and mildew, I think, and a little bit of foam. I am going to get rid of the old stuff, start fresh for the first time in 4 years.
For the 12 rotor.
For the 12 rotor, for the billet 4 rotor, the IndyCar, they all deserve a basic machine working properly. I don't know.
Didn't realize our CNC was sponsored by Nesquik.
Yeah, this is what happens when you let Ethan just not maintain it whatsoever, even though he wasn't even here for the first 2 years. This is gross. Here would be like big metal chunks. That's what I was trying to show you. I could feel all that under there.
Only took 3 years to learn how to clean this properly.
I don't think it was learning. I think it was 3 years learning about procrastination. So Ethan did the hard work right now, which is that. The coolant looks a little bit different. I've never seen a CNC machine using blue coolant, so I feel like I fucked up. Even if this is the wrong fluid, it's gonna be infinitely better than the fluid I let grow in there. While my hair is blowing in the mountain wind, it makes me thankful I still have hair to blow in the mountain wind. Thanks to Keeps, I can focus on racing and trying to come in first instead of watching my hairline recede further and further back the way that nature intended. 2 out of every 3 men above the age of 35 experience some form of male pattern baldness where your hair starts to thin here and here and on the top, and mine was quite literally doing that. In some of the videos you could actually see this whole area was pretty shiny because there's only a couple pieces of hair left. And so with Keeps, I was able to focus on preventing losing the rest of the hair, and in fact I regrew and gained the thickness in this top area. Now of course I'm 40 now, and you can see it's doing what hair naturally does, but unnaturally, thanks to Keeps, I'm able to keep it and just feel happy about who I am. There are tons of solutions. You can find it all on their website. Makes it very straightforward, the whole process. Incredible. Thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this video and for the free product. Go to keeps.com/RobDahm to get up to 50% off of a 3-month supply. That's keeps.com/RobDahm.
This first runner that needs to be the longest is basically just going to come up and over and attach to this just to get it as long as possible. The second runner that comes from here that's sitting on the table over there will come and do kind of the same thing and do just a little baby loop a little bit earlier and then go a little bit later and then land in this runner of the collector on that side. And it's coming together slowly but surely. So basically what's going on is I want to fill this up completely with water and then measure the volume of water that's inside of the one runner. So when we know the volume, we can make all the rest of the runners the same volume. If we get it within 10-15 milliliter, we should be okay. Hopefully this is the last revision. It usually happens when you try to do a equal length header of some sort or turbo manifold of some sort. We ended up with these numbers so far. So this is runner 1, 2, and 3 from the front to back. 4 was a little bit high at first, but we made another revision and we got it down to about even. So they're all pretty much there. Number 1, I'm waiting on a bigger center line tube. I could get that length without sacrificing just the visual aspects of this. Like, if we could keep it nice and make it do what we want, why not? I wouldn't say it's more work than I was anticipating in any way, but it's always going to be a lot of work. A custom header or turbo manifold of any kind is never a easy undertaking. We're getting it done.
We only have 2 more to do.
Yeah, yeah, right?
This beautiful corkscrew thing just looks like it belongs in something this insane. I had 0 input on this. What you guys saw was my Legos all going in one direction, and I was like, okay, you know what? This is not gonna be equal length. That's pretty nasty. So they are essentially, how close to equal length?
I'm still waiting on the numbers for the very first one, but they're within 10 mil for all 3 of the other ones.
I'm so excited to have been out traveling, bringing that Challenger back, and I see these, and I see this, and it's all works of art. It's not just getting the job done, but it's making it look beautiful. This is a dream come true. While I was out hanging out with Tyson, the man who created this motor, the guys were putting in their best effort to make it worthy of everything he intended to. This being built in 2008 shows you how far advanced and his focus on art, form, function, all that. And so every time I show Tyson something, I'm like, he knows he could do better. And so better we did. I'm very proud of this, and I wouldn't fight Tyson, but I would fight him that this is one of the best things. We've created fuel rails that return inside of the fuel rail. So with Tyson's design, we want to make sure that all the fuel is just back here. All of the wires will be in a trough kind of hidden inside of these areas. So it just looks like just a bionic machine. It doesn't look like an engine. And of course, the centerpiece of all of this was something that was optional to me, but the guys went and did it beautifully, is equal length header. This thing means that all 12 rotors will absolutely be firing with equal pulses to each of the 3 turbos. It's going to sound unlike anything. We've got the hardest one done, but that allows us to now think about where and how are we going to get air to these runners here. And of course you can see, just like with my Lego set earlier, the guys have created a nice area for keeping not only this Inconel heat shielded, but air passing through there, and maybe we'll have a channel coming out there or something to that effect. But these runners will then come up and go to some sort of wild intake manifold. So if you could have made this any way you wanted to, the heat still is gonna rise. So, you know, we just have to think about the shielding above that as well. This engine has been a thing of mystery and mystique, and I think we're adding, hopefully, another layer to it. The 12 rotor alone, naturally aspirated, is gonna make a lot of power, and in fact, more power than we can probably use. But if we're doing all this work, if we're making all the fab, if we're just putting all the tuning and everything, why not go bigger? So we decided to turbocharge this engine. And so this one was the original design, right here. And that would give us, I don't know, each one of these can make up to almost 1,000 horsepower. So we can do, you know, 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, so maybe 3,000 horsepower, which is nuts. But we realized that that's not enough. And so, I'll set this one down. So this is the Garrett G55. I believe this is either the 106 or the 94. I think it's 106. Either way, yeah. So you need this one too? Either way. Oh my God, that's heavy.
Where are you gonna put the last one?
So yeah. So, 3 turbos, all the G55, the largest turbo, almost the largest turbo that Garrett makes now. 3 of them. Don't drop it. And so, holy shit.
It's a basketball.
So that's one for the middle rotors, another one over here, and then of course another one over here. Essentially 3-4 rotors, all making the amount of power that that car made times 3. So here we are. So this is like every kid's dream. If you ever read about the 12 rotor, it's an obnoxiously massive, insane engine. Might as well make it live to its fullest ability. Yeah. So the intake manifold is going to be sitting somewhere here, and that gets us.
That's sick.
Yeah. God.
It's insane to think that there's going to be 2 more of these.
2 more of these. That big.
And a big old stack
on each side. Yeah, because now that we've got that one sitting there, we can just kind of hold this one in place over here for the camera to get an idea of. These 2 are going to be, the atmosphere right here is going to be like pure vacuum, like outer space. Jeez. Rob's turbo is smaller than mine, but that don't discredit
It's an
him.
average size turbo. It's okay. Don't make me feel bad.
It's whatever.
Wow, the turbo hides a lot of the motor.
Yeah, I believe that. That's what we're going to ultimately see very quickly, because I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Rumor has it there might be a 12 rotor at SEMA. you solved the equal length runner issue. I was originally just gonna do all four kind of log style.
Yeah. I mean, once I started this, I was like, okay, well, we have plenty of room in the front, so we could do something with making these other runners longer and trying to make it equal length. The sides are clearly going to be a lot easier because there's so much room. Yeah. But I mean, it's just a crazy concept in general. Like, I don't know. When I first got here and you said 12 rotor, I'm like, okay, well, what does he mean by that?
Yeah. It's hard. It's so hard. And then when you see it, you're like, that's not 12.
Yeah. No.
That's something.
But it's so crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is crazy awesome.
I want to share with you guys the challenges of this phase of this motor. First of all, can't Google anything, mostly because I don't know how to Google. But secondly, because the only videos about this engine at this state are our own videos, and I don't trust that guy at all. Thankfully, Tyson is one hell of a dude and knows a lot, so he's been an excellent sounding board for this. But he's also the reason we kind of upgraded the sizes of the turbos, because he's like, I want to see that thing eat. And I'm like, if that man wants to see it eat, it's got to eat. So a couple issues we have with our own setup is that none of us are intake manifold engineers, and we got a couple different unique challenges. One is this heat right here, so we have to like block out, like I've been doing from the beginning of the videos, block out an area for the heat to get sucked out. We have to explicitly not only just insulate, but move air through that area. We have all of these tubes, especially these are the tough ones. There's a dream goal and then a realistic goal. Dream goal is to have one side go to an intake manifold, right? Like, okay, and then have the other one closed off. But these ports on inside of here are so big, it's not gonna make a difference. This car's gonna idle so low anyway because there's so many rotors firing every 360 degrees that there's no reason, there's no actual benefit to having staged throttle bodies. So at this point, our goal is to now just get all the air as much as possible with minimizing this rotor pulling from this rotor. So they have to be long enough runners so that way that negative pulse, that vacuum pulse, isn't so detrimental to anything else near it. We have some limitations technically because throttle bodies, E-gates, we're gonna need two R5s to do this. But one of the things that you're gonna see us not do, we are not wastegating this. We are going to use TurboSmart's aluminum 76 millimeter gate to control the boost side of this, because this engine's just gonna eat. It makes actually cooling this a lot easier, it makes just planning simpler. We want less boost, just bleed it off the front end. We're gonna be running methanol on this, which means we're gonna need a mechanical fuel pump, so there's gonna be a lot of shit on the front or rear of the block, mostly front because the rear is meant to hook up to clutch and everything. So we've got a lot of planning with that. We've got 24 ignition coils, all these injectors. The fuel rails doing all this means that this intake manifold is going to be really clean. We know how to make a 4-rotor run. So at the very least, the idea is take that intake manifold and copy it 3 times. This is really, really expensive. This engine, every time you buy something, you have to buy multiples of 12 or 24, 36, or even 64 units of something. So we got to get a lot of material. Vibrant's been a huge partner in all the things we do. The intake manifold, the plenum, will be shifted backwards.
Okay.
Because of this.
That helps a lot.
And that helps because then we've got, I'll probably want to angle, in my mind I angle the throttle bodies up because the heat, I wouldn't want it to cook the electronics.
Totally.
So angle those up, and that also helps us with whatever
routing we need to get.
The 3 to 1 to 2, 3, whichever way we do it, the combo is going to be intricate.
Here.
Yeah. So, yeah, anybody that's got experience with custom stuff like this, you guys always do sound off and help guide us. Comments appreciated, even if they're bad comments. I will take it. It helps us understand what we're up against. We purposely did the fuel rails and the fuel system separate from the intake manifold because we just can't think about it all at once. So now all we have to think about is these 1.5 inch tubes going to something. So then we can actually start thinking about the tubes. The runner, let's just do this turbo. Now we know, so just doing it piece by piece is making massive progress on this car. So this is a crazy internet build because at this point it's not very useful. It'd be great in one of Tyson's boats, but I got some ideas for what we'll use it in. But right now, my push for this whole series is to get this damn thing making an insane, unfathomable amount of horsepower, and then think about where to put that horsepower to the test. You guys don't know the level of effort we go through for the thumbnails on this. These blades are cutting into my shoulders. My muscles have been separated, but it's so worth the shot.